movies for black girl nerds.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you doing? Hi, it's so crazy. I've never met you before, and I was googling. I'm like, I always see Dion. Maybe I just never paid attention to. I see you everywhere when I look and get into the movie that I watched. It was so good, and like I wanted to know. I noticed which it seemed like intentional dialogue where it mentioned about a black man getting off even though he's innocent and different statements like that. So it appeared as intentional dialogue, and I wanted to know how important was it for you all to put those dialogues in the film?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up pretty bad. Are you saying at the end of the movie? Are you talking about? Did you say about him getting off? I think.
Yeah, on the radio, I'm guessing it was Terrence J. It sounded like him. About when they were saying about a black man actually getting off, being that he's innocent, and that usually doesn't happen, and just different statements like that. I kind of noticed in the film. So I was saying how important was to put those certain dialogue in the film.
I mean, it's real life. It's real life story, what's happening in the world. And I think, there needs to be a light shined on that, and that's why his mom's conversation was really important for us to share. Like for most black and brown people, you got one shot at this, you know what I mean? And your first impression is your only impression, and your reputation and your name is all you have. And if somebody taints that, whether it's true or not, there's usually no coming back from that. And it's not the same for other people, unfortunately. I mean, they can do all kinds of stuff and come right back and be in that next A-list movie. You know what I mean? And so I think just to make it real, to show people like, man, he did get off, but the uncertainty, like, oh, did he really get off? Did he really do it? But he just got off it's real. And it's just real life. It's real life story. I mean, he lost everything. He lost everything. You know what I mean? And so, but he got his name, he got his reputation, and you can rebuild it again. You know what I mean? But there is this fine line, I think, with, black and brown people and what they go through differently than, the average person. It's just what it is. And hopefully with this new world and the changing of the guards, we'll be able to have different conversations about this in the future.
And definitely, and to piggy off what you're saying, our current climate in the world with, having a pandemic and having basically a kind of race war going on this year, how has this, everything that's going on in 2020 has affected your mental health?
You know what? I exercise daily. I really try to stay focused and stay in the moment. It can, I've seen a lot of friends and a lot of family go through a lot of hardship, you know what I mean? And I think, when you don't have the money to feed your kids and you don't have a job to have a home or a roof over your head, it breaks you. You know what I mean? It breaks you. And fortunately for me, I've been able to stay consistent and work through this unfortunate time. So my mental health is good. You know what I mean? I mean, you gotta have some type of faith. You know what I mean? You gotta exercise. You gotta take care of your body. You gotta pray. You gotta have a good support system around you, because life is hard anyway. Without the pandemic, it's hard to maneuver through life and get things done the way you need to get it. But, I just take it one day at a time, you know what I mean? And stay prayerful.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I think this all have been a trying time for everyone. And also, I wanted to know, it was some backdooring going on in this film. I want to know, have you ever experienced a friend backdoor you where you was dating someone or pursuing someone?
Yeah. I think it's happened to all of us.
Now
Yeah.
you know what? See, Michael said it never happened to him, but Dion said it did. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think it did happen to me before. Probably like a long time ago, though.
A long time ago. I mean, listen, it might have happened to Mike. He just didn't know it. Usually, sometimes you don't get to find out what's happening.
Right.
But no, it's tough. It's always the person closest to you, though. I'll tell you that.
Yes. And then also I talked about in the movie, you know, we in reality, you know, with the comes to the law, you know, you're innocent to proven guilty, but when it's in certain instance, especially if it hits social media and becomes a big deal, you're kind of guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. And this kind of what happened with him in this movie. He really was innocent, and everybody just basically isolated him. Nobody wanted to deal with him. And I feel like, you know, it's always a tricky thing, especially being an African-American person, because even if we're innocent to proven guilty, sometimes we're still found guilty and we're really innocent. So I feel like it's always a tricky thing when it comes to those type of things, especially when it gets to the media and stuff like that. And I like the way it showed that in where people can reflect on that, how we judge people just because of somebody accused you of something.
Yeah, I mean, social media is a cold game. I mean, I remember when the internet came and I said, oh man, this is gonna be a problem. They're going to have to regulate this right away or we're going to have a problem. I mean, I have a 16-year-old daughter, so I have a different lens, I feel like, because we're really close and I get to see how she sees it through her eyes. And it's unfortunate because social media rips you apart. Like you said, they get one little clip, one little something that the wind can blow. And they got, you know, some great idea from one comment. They didn't created a whole story, you know, from it. And I think you got to just stay true to who you are. And, you know, you got to speak up and you got to speak out, because if you don't dead that stuff right away, it can go on and swirl and whirl. And it just gets to be a mess. You know what I mean? So it's hard. But once you expose people by what they're trying to do and tearing you down, usually you can shut them down, I feel like, you know?
Well, thanks for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. And I love the movie.
Yeah.
Again, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad you know me now.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.